Folks, I've just changed the audio of the stream. That's a great introduction. That's quality. Love to see it, but nonetheless, let's try this again. Welcome back, folks, to the America's Minor Qualifier. Identity versus EnVy is the current best of three. We're in map number 2 after Identity stepped up massively on their CT side of Overpass to put out the win in the end, but EnVy, pressure's on them now to really step up and show some face on Inferno, to be honest. So let's see what they can do. Starting on their T side after an interesting knife round. Unfortunately, you guys missed it, but it was quite something to watch. Now we get to see what they can really do here on their T side. So far, so good. Great opening nade on towards Seb, putting down a 36 HP. So if that's anything to go by, then we're in for a treat. So a solid start as well. Nifty securing first blood as he jumps immediately in towards Pit, but doesn't clear off Seb, who, assuming he thinks is mollied, and Seb just annihilates them from the server, showing some of that FPL magic as he taps down 3. Sonic will be there to trade, but we're in a 2-on-2. It's all going to be on those rotators from the B site to get this done, though. Of course, no kit in play. Only Kevlar on Wraths as well. Do have a CZ, though, which could prove to be rather interesting. Som playing close, just looking to peek out on the contacts of Sonic, and it works out well. First blood connected, second looking likely, and there you have it. 1 for 1, the 2v2 works out in favour of EnVy. They take themselves a pistol, starting strong on Inferno. XL, you definitely see a different style in CS depending on the region. You know, one of the, I think the more blatant examples is if you were to watch some of the VODs back from the Asian close qualifier, you would have seen like they have a bit of a different approach to economy in the way that they approach specifically second round and first round force buys. It's practically every round they lose. They're very aggro on the force buys. More aggro than I've ever seen a European or North American team be, just as an example. So there are little tendencies and little, I think, kind of like fundamental beliefs that are just picked up inherently in the region that you're playing in, almost certainly. Also, in general, CS is a game with many different styles, not just from a regional perspective, but also from a team and player point of view as well. So many different ways you can approach a round. That said, now we're going to see the mid push come through now for EnVy, playing this one relatively safe here. Once though, just immediately backing away and playing off of Nifty's success on B. Going to jump out, should be able to find the first. Second should be off the table, but Rats looks just completely blind, unfortunately. It means that Nifty can single-handedly open up the site, and from there, nothing can really be done. I mean, God relics through the smoke, I suppose, but I don't imagine there'll be anything repeatable. Nearly dying through smoke as well, so continues to haunt him here. 12 HP, all that remains, but it won't be a retake attempt. One benefit for the CT side is they get a little bit of weaponry, some toys to work with going into round 3, which would otherwise be basically nothing, to be honest. Maybe some upgraded pistols at a push. Nice to see them have a little bit more firepower to work with here. So fugly. He'll be leading the charge once more, taking the aggressive duel in towards Apps as he gets ready to fight the likes of Seb. Who, Seb has been on fire, by the way. Really got to give him props for his performance in the best of 3 so far. Sven the Svensk, it was new identity that picked up map number 1. Dazzle. Just gonna see Nifty as he stares down below. I don't think you realise quite how open he was there. Still pretty much though going to be this A mid take. The grand plan here. Sonic almost caught back turn. His teammates will cover him off. Apparently his Relic now pushed back to the site itself. His head immediately blown off as well. That leaves just Seb, and he's dead to rights. And, well, from there it pretty much crumbles, I think. Don't really see a way for ID to find their way back into the site. We should really be seeing a comfortable EnVy 3-0 here. SE, I think you're spot on. You know, Sonic was a surprising addition, but he's demonstrated a lot of talent, I think, in the past. You know, it actually brings up an interesting point, right? There's a lot of talent in general, especially in the look towards the South African CS scene. So it's nice to see him sort of get given a sort of bit more of a breakout opportunity, I think, on this lineup. Not too familiar with where he was at prior to EnVy, but I've seen him play sort of way back in the past. I casted him in Dubai in 2017. That was with the likes of Black Poison and such. And still very promising player back then as well. The question is, how much is he going to adapt and take on playing at this kind of higher level, I think it's fair to say. Charging forward, seemingly so aware of where Nifty was, just spraying him down, picking up the first kill easily. So Relic showing us a bit of that classic action. Relic! Oh, buddy, only missing the third shot there, and he opens up the round for the man. Sonic triple kill. I mean, it just doesn't get better than that. Crispy, clean stuff. Picks up the AWP as well as he secures the bomb plant, going for the ace clutch, of course. The fact that Sonic is still standing is huge, but he then goes for the no-scope, and that is where he will fall. But looping back, I mean, the fact that Relics even gets one there is absolute madness, but the fact he gets two enables his teammates to even fight for that. It's kind of crazy. Sonic then back with a triple kill, though, just becomes even more absolutely mad. It's the round of the AWPs, it seems. Bravado have been a really fun team to watch. It's just a shame that they never really sort of progressed super far. They've had a couple of interesting runs here and there, but like, you think back to the past 3 years, overall, it's not really been that much in the grand scheme of things in comparison to, like, you know, other, let's say, North American teams or European teams, right? In terms of breaking out of the region, definitely they've made some progress, but I think all in all, it's been nothing too crazy, I guess is what I'm saying. Wessels, and that's no surprise when you think about it, right? It kind of loops into what I'm saying, you know, because they didn't necessarily completely break out. It's, I imagine, a little bit tougher to get sponsorship in the region. Very similar to sort of the UK, for example, right? You can't just waltz into a sponsorship agreement. Nice early pick. We'll find Dazzle as well. You see John G try and secure a few trade picks, unfortunately only gathering information on his second kill, but with a bad smoke, that will open up for a potential frag on Android, but he's none the wiser, gets swung out wide, and from there he loses it before even getting a shot off. That means Rat becomes the last man standing. EnVy looking like it's going to be a 4-1 reset here. That is going to just blow the economy of this city side to smithereens. To be fair, that's a pretty valid point. It is, there are a lot of talented players in Europe right now that are not in lineups. As a Brit, I feel obligated to mention Smooyer, of course. Tell you what, talking to Brits with results recently, look at Thomas. The no chance lineup qualifying for the minor. That was really quite surprising, but a very impressive run. Talking of impressive runs, though, EnVy looking very clean here on their T-side so far. Only letting one round slip through the cracks here, and likely going to be up to 5 as well, given them ID just on pistols. Sonic at it again, of course, though. They can look fairly easy so far, just locking down apps. Of course, you mentioned Smooyer once and the Smooyer chance begin. Yeah, there are definitely a few really talented players, but I'd agree we don't really have a core British roster that are quite on the level just yet. But give it time. If anything's been proven, I think, over the last 2 years, time is really something that we need right now. 2 years ago, you would have told anyone where Smooyer is, or say for example Thomas qualifies for the minor, you probably would have laughed. So just gotta let it run its course. And D here just letting EnVy slip on towards B, secure a plant, not really fighting it too hard. Looks like Fugly will actually get him one through the smoke as well, but there isn't really too much fighting opportunity here for ID. They kind of know that as well. I think the most important thing is they just keep that up, to be honest, around 7. It's definitely going to be a boon for their economy, so... I definitely wouldn't mention Smooyer and say like KNG in the same sentence. I think people have this like perception of Smooyer that he's a very like aggressive and generally not the nicest person. Don't get me wrong, like he's he's quite out there. He's the first person to be outspoken, but at the same time, like he's generally made a real positive effort, I think, the past year. So I would be pretty shocked to see a scenario like that take place, to say the least. I think a lot of people will say nowadays he's an all-around nice guy, just putting in the hard graft, trying to make it work, which is all you can really ask for in a player in his position, I think. But the pressure's kind of on his shoulders anyway. If he wants to make the performance work and wants to be able to keep breaking through, get himself onto a strong lineup, he needs to put the work in anyway, so what it's going to come down to. The bot's wrong. It's not Jay. Jay's casting over on the first stream right now. You can see me in the title if that's anything to go by. Said nifty, solid opener towards top banana so far. The flash is just really creating so much space for them as they make their push up. Lack of CT smoke though. Nifty going for the old school punk smoke, which is just shoulder peek off the corner and get it done. Pulchi, it's incredibly ballsy. Shows a little too much face and in the end gets punished, and that slows down the entire play. But they did get the pick advantage, and I think that is by far the biggest thing here. That's uncomfortable. Wrath's just slow walking down banana, picks up a double kill for his troubles, gets information on where the bomb is as well. The round goes from so positive to a complete disappointment in a matter of seconds. Just the timing on that. 25 seconds now on the clock. The bomb's going to come running up mid, and your main man Dazzle and Seb even should pretty much be able to lock this one down. Even with Android finding Dazzle, I don't really see any way for Android now to win this round. Perfect smoke from Seb, just isolating the bomb, and that will lock the round in. ID up to 2, but long way to go. EnVy got money in the bank for days right now, and that's what's going to be important for them as they rebuy immediately back into this. Man, this bot is so aggressive on the banning people for spam. Like, I've just seen it's literally just banned Sub Rosa for spam. And all you put was Nifty. Challenging deep down Banana. I think he thought he killed him, I'm not so sure. Either way, he'll whip out the USB to finish it off. Nice solid opening pick here, but let's see if they'll be able to hold off against an execute from EnVy. And begin to get it set up here from second mid. Alex on form once again. I want to see a bit of that sort of first map magic from him, to be honest. He was on fire. Just got to try and back away and maybe... It was re-peeking here that was ballsy, but fair play to him. I mean, giving it a good crack. I give him that. Only finds one, eventually traded by Sonic, but still creates a 4-on-2. 40 seconds on the clock as well. Puts the pressure on EnVy's shoulders. They have to make the site play. They can't sit around. Good flash though. Open things up, but it's an immediate trade from Seb, and that leads us here. Android in a 1-on-3. Molly towards backside. Will push Seb out of position, but he's got to get the bomb down, and that just forces the duel. Creeps things back now, 3-5. EnVy slowly but surely losing their foothold on this scoreline. This is their final buy they can afford before they run out of money. Only 350 bucks, in fact, left in the bank of Fugly. Tell you what, does anyone know the scores of the other games? I can't open it right now, unfortunately, but I'd be curious to know what the other games are doing right now in the minor. This bottom 8, honestly, is some brutal matches. Really curious to see sort of how it all unfolds in the end of it. Sonic does bag himself the opening pick against Relics. That puts Nifty right through long and in towards CT. This opens up the wraparound towards B, or he can get into library as well and spot site. Nice to say, lots of opportunities. See these B players, it's like none the wiser on what's going on. You've got Jonji just holding off Banana. I'd like to kind of see a rotation here from Rats, if I'm honest, but the minute he spots Nifty anyway, now he's just kind of boxed in. At least if he rotated a little earlier, maybe could have caught him or took a bit of a different duel. Fortunately now, with both players stuck towards B, it makes life a little difficult. With Seb caught jumping by Android's Mac 10, just gets from bad to worse, doesn't it? Android single-handedly breaks the A-site defenses. I mean, what was that kill on Seb? Just caught jumping, gets the mid-air headshot with the Mac 10. That's 1-0 to Singularity. Good to see. I saw first map was Vertigo. That looks pretty crazy. I'm really glad that I've actually managed to avoid Vertigo, to be honest, so far. Looks like a real interesting one. Not so sure I'm a fan, to say the least. Like this, use the nades bomb Banana, high flash as well, gives them the early peek if they want it. A lot of info, and eventually you can get aggressive, which we can see Raf's doing now, just waltzing down deep, taking all that control. And you've got the firepower that ID clearly don't have. You really need to find an advantage early on. So I like these duels they're forcing. Works out fairly well for them. I mean, Android is 19 HP as well, so Dazzle picks him off. Sonic delivering on the trades with the AWP, though, will open up Banana. Thing is, EnVy don't have the bomb. They're not really in a position to jump off that. Kind of plays into ID just a little bit more. John G creeping through the smoke. He finds one with the sickest no-scope I've ever seen. That is lovely. Such a crucial pick as well, but I don't think he knows that they've actually got to the site. This is where he has to play this one so safe. Just sat in the smoke, waiting for his teammate. He'll push immediately in towards Church. Sonic there ready and waiting. Finds him. John G meanwhile missing the follow-up shot, unfortunately. Back going for the wallbang, I think, back quad. Just not quite connecting. Sonic landing everything meanwhile. Makes life real difficult. Flash leaving him blind, and now they're just forcing him to make the move, which is the last thing he really wants, to be honest. USB out, knife out as well, just B-hopping around the site at this point. Not gonna happen, but a sick opening kill from him at least. Plan of attack now seems to be just straight up through Banana, talking the shots through smoke. Sonic hits it again. Relics will be able to find one of his own, but it's not really sustainable for the CT side. Once again, the B site is completely open. Haven't really moved on it, but even with the rotations from John G, just the weaponry will be real rough for them. Nice setup as well. Double flash, one towards site, one towards CT. CT smoke down. Even getting the mollies in. I think at that point, Fugly, it's a little overkill, but you know, your teammates already cleared it. You've effectively mollied him out of position, but what am I saying? I'm just picking apart the little things at this point. Doesn't really make a difference, does it? Perfectly clean site take. Nothing ID can really do. Most important thing for them is that they save this AK now. Gotta say, Sonic right now, 18-3. I mean, carrying EnVy by blood, sweat and tears, would that be a fair assessment? I mean, they're grafting pretty hard right now. That's one thing for sure. I would definitely agree. I would rate Sonic more than Black Poison, especially in the context of kind of like international matches. I've seen some good performances from Black Poison sort of in the domestic scene, but Sonic's definitely been standout against more sort of North American competition and such. Bit of a back and forth one here though. Jules in CT as Fugly and Sonic ironically continue to battle away. The B site completely taken now. But a much more even retake. I mean, the weaponry's all there for ID. The utility there as well. They've got double smokes if they really wanted to smoke off CT and Church, for example. Hey, they're even going to get a free pick for the trouble. Sonic going to walk right into them. So that makes it even better. Dazzle coming in from CT. Oh, the positions are here. It should have really spotted Fugly as well, so that's going to work out kind of nicely. Bit of an unfortunate way for it to end. I mean, the pressure is on, the bomb is ticking after all. Fugly finds just another, leaves Seb all on his lonesome. Tries to get on the defuse and bait a peek, but Fugly's giving him nothing. Just buying time for Andrew to get close, and it's an easy one to close down. EnVy Up to 9 now. ID, the best they can do here really is half buy, I think, to be honest. Puts EnVy in a great position to break double digits. Impeccable performance on their T side. Sonic 19-4 right now, just to really stress that. This is all just going to happen fairly cleanly at this point. EnVy not really getting much contest, especially on these half buys. It's 10 in the bag. It's kind of do or die time here for ID, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, they could have a killer T side, but they want to be going into it 10-5, not 13 or 12-3 even. Be a pretty bleak scoreline. I wonder if Sonic can get himself to be like 30-6 or something. Just absolutely incredible. I mean, that's ballsy from Relics, though. Just no care in the world, straight through apps with the AWP. Straight into Fugly. Works out, though. Gets away without a single scratch on him, either. EnVy. Slowing down much more now. Utility being thrown to prompt an A play, but they've yet to really commit to it. Only now with Nifty back on the AWP where they start to make some moves towards short potentially, but really only just grouping up, not actually making the push. Dazzle back off as well. He can hear the steps. Likely knows what's coming. What'll be interesting is how aggressive Relics wants to get. Quick on it is he going to be? I mean, he's over towards long right now. Will he focus on rotating forward, getting aggressive? That's the question. The Song flicks in, takes down Dazzle, clears off the site itself. Android finds Seb as well. Relics now moving in slowly but surely. Picks up the first kill he needs. Looks immediately towards Apps. Finds the second. Lovely stuff. Textbook play from Relics and his AWP. Finds a third on Som. All up to 4 at this point. Needs the 5th and final kill to put out the ace play. Sonic is the man of the hour. John G will steal it away, but credit where credit is due. Relics getting it done right now. Quad kill for him.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Let's talk about stepping up in a moment of need, though. I mean, a quad kill 3-4 rounds ago would have been sick, but they desperately need to get themselves this 10-5. So critical to set them up for this second half. You know, I think ID is still very much in this if they can get 10-5 and start strong with a pistol. That said, that's a whole lot of what ifs, so we'll have to see. Solid opener from Relics once again, straight down through mid, catching Nifty. Tries to peep his head through second mid, in fact. Kinda gotta ask yourself, how many times are EnVy get a peak Relics before they realise that he's just gonna win the duel and they should just actually not be taking jiggles against him? Case and point, Android shows the tiniest little bit ahead in pit. Immediately blown off. They haven't sold this fake towards A either. John G will be there to trade immediately on the push. Rotations, of course, coming in thick and fast. Both players on B do a bit of damage, but all in all, still fairly comfortable here for ID, I think. Advantage is in play, but will he creep out into Relics? That's the question. He does, and he wins it. Somehow shifts right into the scope of Relics, but the shot not taken. Great flash in towards Church, though, will force it all onto the arms of Sonic. He's playing back quad. Looking towards Church, expecting the peek hit. Misses the shot, though, uncharacteristically, but misses nonetheless. Second player on the push, though, lands that, leaving it all on Dazzle. Time ticking down rather fast. He's not peeking, not giving him a thing. Finally, the kill connected, but does Dazzle have enough time? This is going to come down to the wire. Half a second remaining. 0.02 seconds will decide if ID bag themselves their 5th round, and most importantly, securing a 10-5 half, keeping them in this game, to be honest. What a critical round, and what a way to come down to it. 0.02. You gotta think, if Sonic kept hiding there and just played it, kept it cool, played it safe, that would have been a round. Really shows you just the little things that can have an impact. 0.02 is not much time. Nonetheless, ID on the pistol, so far so good. Charging up mid, they will go. The Wraths first blood, of course, just finding the head of Sonic. Looks like they're going to clear the site as well. Son will find one before he falls. That creates a bit of an opportunity, given the fact that they've yet to deal with him. Back still standing. That boost, will be able to do anything. Covered somewhat by the boxes. Nifty taken on the push as well. Leaves just Fugly. And Seb's got it all covered. Double kill for him and for Rafs. And we'll put the 6 in play here for ID. I like how Twitch chat went from having some really smart, educated discussions to just back to typical Twitch chat memes. Like 2 different alternate worlds. It's crazy. Oh, Som. Hello, buddy. Bringing the scout into play again. Banana. Gonna be the target here. Nice defensive smoke, immediately thrown. Flash to follow up as well, so it's all there. Now Fugly so far so good, but only 12 bullets left in the chamber. That's all he seemingly needs though to bag himself the double kill at minimum. Next will swing through the smoke, but it's effectively all on him at this point. Wrath so low that Mag 7 will just spit on him and it'll be done. Android and Sonic still, all that remains. That Deagle's still hunting. I talked about that HP coming into play, there you see it. If it is though, Relics knows where Sonic is. Gets the first shot off, but unfortunately Mag 7 just not quite close enough to land a fatal blow. What's interesting is, strongly, so we talk about Seb. Is this correct? Because I was double checking this earlier on, and I couldn't find anything to say otherwise. I'm just generally curious if this is the case. But prior to, obviously, his experience way back in 2017, where he played for Ghost Gaming, etc., his past team before, with the new identity guys, was Massive Impact. And that, was 2018 effectively, a very long-standing roster. Just curious, because he really stepped up and brought some actually impressive performances. I do think you're bang on pistol round performances have been there, but also he's generally been quite a surprising player. So curious to see if that's actually some correct info. Oh, that's interesting. Timeline not quite right, but overall pretty bang on. These pistols, unfortunately, not able to achieve too much. Just being wrapped in from CT. Dazzle. They do a nice bit of damage as Relics helps clean up as well. That puts ID, of course, into 8. Just 2-round difference. This is the one you've all been waiting for. The big buy for EnVy. Walks out to play the AWP on Sonic as well. They've got everything they need to get this done. Seems like the aggressive banana play is going to be the target. Straight up they'll go. Nifty going to be tucked into a sandbags. Flash will be thrown. No care in the world from Jonji. That man is just the gift that keeps on giving, and he just running straight out on towards B. Dazzle going to fill his shoes as Son gets taken down as well. EnVy just had no idea that it was going to be that quick of a round. That is some real aggressive CS, but it's worked wonders. 4-on-3, bomb down as well. Immediately EnVy calling for the save. For ID, they're laughing right now. I mean, up to 9 rounds, of course. 1 away from equalising. They know full well that EnVy are under pressure because, well, they've had just such a poor start in the second half. Their money is going to be nowhere close. What's interesting is I don't believe there was a single kit in play for EnVy. Which only amplifies why the aggressive call is the right choice. Money low, utility non-existent in some cases. All kind of works out for them. Now they're going to be stretched fairly thin again. We are going to see 2 kits come into play, Nifty and Som. Probably going to buy one up as well. Keeping a close eye on Sonic, not for necessarily harsh reasons, but such a stand-up performance on T-side. Really, I hate to use the word carrying, but I think dragging his team along in some rounds for sure, because there were some big triple kills and such that made it happen. But that's a lot harder to do on the CT side. You need really players on either side to be stepping up, especially. You can't have your B site player, for example, doing all the work, because all that's going to happen is A site's going to get abused time and time again. It's going to put you some really sticky retakes. It's a very sort of brief and high-level view of it, but get the point. So it'll be interesting to see if Sonic also just falls off in general on this CT side. We'll have to see. Watching him now, gets a great first pick towards Boiler. Retreats on towards A. Curious to see sort of what ID want to do, given that the bomb's still in T-spawn. Got one player sort of making noise towards A, another player making noise towards B. Really sort of an indecisive T-side right now, waiting for a pick, I believe. Seb potentially next in line as Som falls. Sonic does find himself a double, though. Clearly showing he's still got it. Great flash, the rotation's coming through. Bad CT smoke, going to make life real difficult here as Sonic just catches them as they try and cross. Ganji, all that remains, should well be a safe plant, but he's trying to bait them in for the push, and it works wonderfully, in fairness. Good plant behind Fountain here. He's got himself a very winnable 1-on-2. Just has to be quite careful about Church. That's what he doesn't know is, are they going to push him from there? Sort of what's the overall game plan? Yeah, he's immediately fell back to quad as well, which makes just total sense here, to be honest. Fugly giving him nothing. He'll swing out wide towards Church. Gets a wonderful tag on Android, but that's when Fugly will swing, and unfortunately, can finish him off nice and easy. Gotta say, very close round. If it wasn't for one Molotov, that retake could have been foiled. Also gotta note that he did land the shot, just didn't quite connect it for the kill. Just landed the AWP tag, of course. CT smoke was sort of an awkward point in itself. If that was actually landed correctly, might have not been able to see Sonic get as many kills on the cross. That said, EnVy keeping the gap alive, at least for now, 11-9. Sonic catching Jonji straight through the smoke as he just waits for Jonji's pre-fire. That's some incredible game sense right there. Wrath's going to work his way through. Spots out Android, so it will be an immediate trade. Both teams on an even keel. Bush is going to come through completely from short though, which can cause a few problems. I feel like they need a bit of long presence as well. Only curveball may well be nifty. Push comes through, bomb dropped immediately as Fugly and Sonic both just get it done. Nifty finds relics as well. EnVy keeping the A site locked up with a padlock. I think the overall rumors, for why X-Grit was benched was mostly down to things like inconsistency and such, especially online. He's had some great standout LAN performances, but in the online matches, especially online matches that count, e.g. qualifiers and such, he's really struggled at times. So that seems to be sort of one of the core things that have been travelling around I've seen. Don't get me wrong, he's a nutty player, but unfortunately it doesn't always translate online. Plus, generally I think he's not in the greatest of shapes right now, but hopefully he finds his way again. What's interesting is I believe he'll still get to play due to the team having to fill 2 different rosters for the minor and then for EPL, so could be quite interesting to watch. This round though looking fairly clean as some Nifty just tap him away. Dazzle, the one man with the AK, what can he do? He's stuck towards Pip. And the answer, absolutely nothing. EnVy breaking through here up to 13 now. Making a bit of a sprint to the finish if possible. They just want to lock up map 2 as soon as they can. But a smart pause actually, immediately called by ID. They've realised this game is starting to slip through their fingers a little bit. They've done a great job of bringing it back to a reachable distance, to be honest. I mean, 39 isn't a huge gap. So, call the pause, think it through. Use this time to really assess what the game plan is going to be, because this is going to be one of only a few buy rounds left in this matchup for you. Frozen-eyed, IGL is in-game leader, so effectively the person responsible for making the shot calls and such during a match. So they call the strategy at the start of the round, and make some mid-round decisions as well. You know, sometimes you do see someone else step in the team to help sort of support those mid-round calls, but generally speaking, IGL equals the shot caller for all these teams. That's kind of the easiest way to paraphrase it, I suppose. Let's see what Relics can do here. Could it be the play of just bursting through mid on towards short? Fortunately met by Sonic, and it's an incredible position from them. 4 kills with that single response, only one eventually found by the Wraths, but not even close to making anything stick there. Absolute decimation on short. Smart play from EnVy to just pull in the boost though, gotta be said. That leaves us 14-9. ID can't buy here, so it will be just one full buy practically left for them. Alright, Chippin, this is the second map in this best of 3. We will be heading to our third if EnVy can sneak this one over the line. ID just almost going for much of the same here again, relying on this mid play. So they will slowly but surely work their way up through long. Or at least getting ready to. Next map, of course, I was wondering, is going to be Mirage. Our first map was Overpass. Ooh, going for the wraparound, actually. I kind of like that. Sonic down to 13 HP. If he gives up an orb, could well be trouble. 3 players that dedicate on those walls, he kind of removes the possibility for me that they'll get overwhelmed. Let's see what Relics can do. Sonic back turn, but caught out nonetheless. Android should be able to mop this one up, though. A bit of damage done, in fairness. Does create this 3-on-3. If Fugly dies without killing anyone, it's a problem, but even finding just one, I think he's done enough now to bag this round. I say that, and then I could be completely wrong. I mean, Rats maybe could land some 6 shots for the AWP. I suppose we'll just have to find out. The bomb is ticking after all, and we will have to retake this. Rats just holding on towards long, though, completely none the wiser that not a single player is heading that way. It's all going to be on apps. Donji ready and waiting, holding the push. Now, he needs to get the first shot off here, given that he's got no Kevlar. That's going to be critical. Sees the push come through. Hands at Nifty. Nifty's low, but unfortunately, neither player can finish it off. Som's 1 HP, Nifty's 7 HP. That is heart-wrenching to see. So damn close, but still, the result is as we expected. EnVy. Map point, 15-9. ID 1 buy now. It's all that remains for them that really decides if we're going to be going to Mirage or not, to be honest. Really is that simple. Or you're looking for a great opening shot, but couldn't quite find anything. But the damage done in utility alone, Banana, is really just the main selling point. That peak, how he's fell back, and he's just going to hold the angle. Even with a good flash, should be able to achieve a fair bit here. He tagged down to 20 HP as he just retreats again to CT. Heads immediately to Coffins, which I like. He's going to be volleyed off, though. Nice smoke. That does open him up an opportunity to peek, but it's kind of awkward on where he wants to look. ID be able to hang on. Android winning the duel meanwhile towards A, but the real play still happening towards B here. Some holding close for the push as they walk in. No one checking for it. Relics will finally trade, but is it too little too late? The bomb still has to come in through B if they want it. Relics still standing, but he's just going to creep away as well. Dazzle, all eyes on him now. To really win this site for his team. Troy walking away at the best moment possible, keeps his life intact. And the fact that he's just rotated to pit is an incredible decision. I can't overstate it enough, because where he was on short then, Dazzle could have walked down in towards Boiler, tapped him in the head, and he would have been none the wiser. But now he's rotated to pit, he's playing much, much safer. Still, he's on his own, and we are seeing Fugly sort of rotate away. But now already the rotations have kicked in, and he has a chance at generally winning the duel and doing some damage. Which he's still doing. He's still standing in pit. It forces Dazzle to have to get up close and personal, run and get the bomb, and it's just so uncomfortable for them. No time left. It's all done. 69 will be the scoreline.